The elements of fire triangle. First, let's define fire. Fire is the rapid oxidation of a material in the exothermal chemical process of combustion, releasing heat, light, and various reaction products. The fire triangle. Fire triangle is an illustration to help us understand the three important elements needed to start and sustain fire. Right amount of this element will let fire occur naturally. Ito ang mga example ng element para makabuo ng isang apoy. First element, fuel, is any material that can be turned, such as solid, liquid, or gas. Combustion takes place when fuel is converted into gaseous state as moisture is removed. This happens when a vapor is escaping from any combustible material. Example of fuel is carbon and kerosene. Number 2. Heat is an energy that flows through object. Enough amount of heat would free the vapor from solid and liquid forms of fuel. The lowest temperature needed to form an ignitable mixture in air near the surface of the liquid is called the flash point. The higher the flash point, the more difficult it is to ignite the material. The ignition of fire to solid and liquid fuels varies. Most solid combustible materials ignite immediately. Other solid combustible materials takes time to ignite due to its density. Number 3. Oxygen. Oxygen is an element. Estimated 21% of it can be found in the air. During combustion process, chemical reaction takes place. Oxygen is released and serves as an oxidizing agent for combustible materials. Without an oxidizing agent like oxygen, there will be no fire even if heat and fuel are present. Ang oxygen ang pinaka-importanteng element para makabuo ng fire. Dahil kung wala nito, hindi makakabuo ng apoy. The theory of extinguishment is based on removing any of elements in the fire triangle to suppress the fire. First, removing the heat. The goal here is to lower the temperature, which is usually accomplished by adding water as an extinguishing agent. Other extinguishing agents include chemical and chemical foams. Example nito is ang apoy, pupusan lang ng tubig. Pwede ding gamitan ng fire extinguisher para mas mabilis mawala ang apoy. Number 2. Removing the fuel. In most cases, removing the fuel from the fire is not a practical way of extinguishing fire except when dealing with flammable liquid fires. Valves can be shut off and storage vessels pumped to safe areas to help eliminate the supply of fuel to the fire. Example nito is yung lumiliyab ang LPG. Ang pinakamagandang gawin ay i-off ang mga valves or regulator para ma-stop ang apoy. Number 3. Remove the oxygen. Air is mainly 21% oxygen, and this is sufficient to support combustion in most fire situations. Removal of the air or oxygen can be accomplished by separating it from the fuel source or by displacing it with other gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and steam. Example of separation would be foam and a flammable liquid fire, a wet blanket on a trash fire, or a tight fitting lid on a skillet fire. Foam does not only lower temperature but also remove oxygen. Example dito is pag ang kandila na umapoy ay tinakpan mo ng baso. Mapapansin natin na unti-unti mawawala ang apoy dahil nawawala na ang oxygen dito.
Fire hazards concept and causes. Analyze the different causes of fire. So, in this lesson, you will be able to understand that fire incidents can be caused by natural phenomena or man-made incidents. Natural phenomena such as lighting that strikes any combustible material and even volcanic activity could cause fire. While man-made causes of fire are those products of human errors or machine. So, some example of combustible material is paper, food, plastics, and etc. Fire may start due to natural cause of human-made incidents. Natural causes of fire such as lighting. Lighting that strikes any combustible material which can set trees on fire that might eventually result to forest fire or wildfire. This is the most common natural cause of fire. So, itong lighting is mas kilala natin bilang isang kidlat. Katulad ng example na ito, if if ang lighting is tatama sa mga puno, pwede siyang mag-cause ng wildfire or forest fire. Volcanic activities could also cause fire. During volcanic activity, it spews hot gases, ash, and lava. And when these hot materials get in contact with flammable materials, it might start a wildfire. So, alam naman natin lahat na ang volcano ay bumubuga ng hot gases or lava. So, if itong lava na ito ay tatama sa mga flammable materials such as gasoline or acetone, pwede siyang mag-cause ng wildfire. Then next, the spontaneous combustion is another natural cause of fire. This happens when a hydrocarbon substance unexpectedly creates fire without a proven cause. Pyrophoric substances ignite spontaneously in air at or below 50 degrees Celsius or within 5 minutes after getting into contact with air. Examples of pyrophoric substances are iron sulfide, plutonium, and uranium. Sometimes it is also due to combustion of dry fuel such as sawdust, dried leaves, and grasses. Spontaneous combustion can arise in the presence of substances with low ignition temperature, like hay straw and other types of grasses. When these dried grasses struck together, it releases heat, and in the presence of oxygen and moisture, or even bacterial fermentation, will spontaneously produce fire. So, like, for example, the white phosphorus, which has an ignition temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, catches fire on exposure to air if the external temperature increases above 35 degrees Celsius. Next, human-made causes of fire are those products of human errors or machine failures. Wildfire or forest fire caused by human activities such as machinery sparks, machinery. The following are common causes of house fire. Number 1. Cooking equipment. Pots and pans can be overheated when a person gets distracted while cooking or leaves cooking unattended. This is the most common cause of house fire. So, for example, may niluluto tayo, then bigla may nag-call or something, may ginawa tayo bigla at hindi natin naisip na may naiwan pala tayong ginagawa or niluluto sa ating kusina. So, if nahayaan natin siya ng matagal, pwede ito mag-cause ng fire, lalo na if yung ginagamit natin is gasol. Next, heaters. Portable heaters can cause fire when it is placed near objects that can easily burn like curtains and laundry clothes. So, itong heaters na ito, hindi siya known sa atin. Pero sa ibang bansa, ginagamit nila ito lalo na sa mga cold season. So, if itong heaters na ito na ilagay sa place na malapit sa mga curtains or yung mga things na madali masunog like clothes, pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire. Number 3. Smoking in bedrooms. A cigarette that is not put out properly can cause fire, as the cigarette butts can continuously burn in a few hours. It can also immediately cause fire when get in contact with flammable material. So, if itong cigarette na ito, hindi natin siya na ilagay or naitapon sa tamang place, or basta-basta natin siya naitapon kung saan man, at na may nagka-contact siya sa mga flammable materials like katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, mga gasoline, so pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire. Candles. It is not actually a hazard, but when left unattended, it can easily burn into flames and cause fire. So, katulad siya sa heater, if nailagay natin siya sa place na malapit sa curtains or sa mga things na madaling masunog, pwede siya mag-cause ng fire. Curious children. Kids can sometimes cause fire out of curiosity. So they wanted to see what would happen if they set fire to an object. So, ang mga kids, like, kung ano yung nakikita nila na ginagawa natin or ng matatanda, like, nagagaya na rin nila. So, if nakikita nila tayo nagsisindi or may sinisindihan, then yung bagay na yun is nakita nila, like, sa example na ito, may naano sila na phosphorus. So, gayahin din nila yung nakita nila na pagsindi natin. So, pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire. Number 6, faulty wiring. Homes with insufficient wiring can cause fires from electrical hazards. Signs that you can observe if you have faulty wirings are lights dims if you use another appliances. For an appliance to work, you have to disconnect another and fuse, blow, and trip the current breaker frequently. So, ito yung mga wire na parang yung sparks na galing sa wire. So, nakikita naman natin minsan if nagsuspark, may mga small particles siya na small parang fire siya na nahuhulog. So, yung small na yun, pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire, lalo na if na siya sa mga combustion or flammable materials. Barbecues. This is a great outdoor activity or one of the famous street foods in the Philippines. Avoid doing this activity near tablecloths, trees, or even plants. So, doon naman sa atin itong barbecues, like, lahat naman tayo is nakatikim or nakaranas na ng mag-barbecue. So, if ever na gagawin natin ang barbecue, make sure na hindi siya malapit sa mga combustion or flammable material or mga trees, clothes, mga things na madaling masunog. Number 8, flammable liquids. Petrol, kerosene, or other methylated substances are the most common flammable liquids found at home that can cause fire if not properly stored. Always store in cool, dry place. So, itong mga flammable liquids nito, if hindi natin siya na-store sa tamang place or nalagay natin siya sa place na tamaan ng araw, kung na-expose siya sa araw, pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire. Lighting. Lamp shades and light fitting can build heat if they are very close to light bulbs. Too much heat can eventually ignite the materials and result to fire incidents. So, di ba may nakikita tayo minsan na if na-overheat yung mga bulb or mga lamp natin is minsan sumasabog siya. So, if na-overheat siya, pwede siyang mag-cause ng fire. So that's it for the fire hazards, concepts, and causes.
Precautionary measures and proper procedures in addressing a fire incident. Number 1. Cooking safety. Cooking is the number one cause of home fires, and unattended cooking is the top contributing factor. Since kitchen is the most used part of the house and is most vulnerable to fire, it is very important to know the most appropriate action to be done when kitchen fire starts. Many cooking fire injuries occur when people respond to kitchen fire with inappropriate actions. So alam naman natin na sa ating tahanan, ang kusina ang pinaka-vulnerable sa pag-start ng sunog, kung kaya't kailangan nating malaman ang mga dapat at di dapat na gawin to prevent or during a fire. These are the following things to do and not to do in dealing with cooking fire. Things to do to prevent cooking fire. So number 1, do not leave your cooking unattended. So, kailangan huwag natin iwan ang ating niluluto nang walang nagbabantay. 2. Keep handles of pots and pans turned in. So, ang hawakan ng ating mga pots or pans ay kailangan naka-turn in lagi. So, pangatlo, don't put anything that catches fire near your stove or burner. So, huwag tayong maglalapit ng mga bagay na maaaring o mga materials na flammable kapag or sa ating gas stove dahil lubha itong mapanganib. Things to do to control cooking fire. Number 1. Cover the fire by placing lid over the pan. So, kung nagliliyab ang ating pan, takpan natin to ng ating takpanan upang mapula ang apoy. Number 2. Turn off the burner or stove. Huwag tayong matakot na i-off ang burner natin or ang stove natin dahil kung alam mo ang mga dapat na gawin ay hindi ka matatakot kung kaya't kailangan mong makinig or magkaroon ng knowledge. So, number 3. In case of open fire, turn off the heat and keep the door closed. Kung ang ating oven ay nasisunog, ang kailangan nating gawin ay i-off yung heat to 0. And kailangan hindi dapat nakabukas ang pinto ng oven natin. So, 4. In case of microwave fire naman, unplug the power source and keep the door closed. So, same sa oven fire. Kailangan naka-close yung door ng ating microwave at tanggalin ang saksakan. Number 2. Cigarettes. Cigarettes are the leading cause of fire deaths in city, state, and national level. The fire victims include not only the smokers, but their families, friends, and neighbors. Mostly, cigarette fires are due to improper disposal of cigarette butts that are still lit. Normally, it will start outdoor then spread out until it reaches some structures nearby. In some cases, house fire due to cigarette is caused by human negligence like falling asleep while smoking or smoking near flammable materials. So let me explain something. Isa sa mga known na cause ng fire ay sigarilyo. Nagkakos ito dahil sa kapabayaan ng isang tao. Katulad ng naninigarilyo sila malapit sa mga bagay na highly flammable at saka mga nakakatulog. So, next one is i-explain ko sa inyo kung ano ang dapat at di dapat na gawin kapag tayo ay naninigarilyo. So, fire from smoking materials can be prevented by following these tips. Number 1. Do not smoke in bed or anywhere that you might fall asleep. So, kapag tayo ay naninigarilyo, huwag tayong manigarilyo sa ating higaan at huwag tayong manigarilyo sa mga lugar na maaari tayong matulog dahil isa ito sa mga sanhi ng sunog. Number 2. If you smoke, do it outside. So, ito yung pinaka madaling or pinaka-effective na way para ma-prevent ang fire. kailangan nating manigarilyo na lang or na lamang sa labas. Number 3. Do not discard cigarette in potted plants, landscaping vegetation, or bark dust. They can easily catch fire. So, alam naman natin na ang mga naninigarilyo ay kapag tapos na silang manigarilyo ay tinatapon nila lamang nila ito sa mga gilid or especially sa mga pots or plants. Kailangan nilang malaman na yung or saan nila tinatapon ay baka mamaya maaari itong mag-cause ng fire dahil ang surroundings nun ay maaaring flammable. So, wag natin itong gawin. So, number 4. Use a deep, sturdy ashtray or a non-combustible container that cannot be tipped over. So, imbes na itapon natin to kahit saan, gumamit tayo ng ashtray dahil or upang ma-prevent natin o kung saan nalamang natin ito tinatapon. O di kaya gumamit tayo ng mga ashtray na DIY pero hindi siya flammable o hindi siya gawa sa mga like plastic or fabric. So, number 5. Before throwing away butts or ashes, those in water or sand. So, bago natin itapon ang nagamit na ng sigarilyo, dahil may apoy pa rin ito kahit tinapon natin ay dapat siguraduhin natin wala na tong apoy sa pamamagitan ng or pagtapak o di kaya itapon ito sa tubig o di kaya sa sand. Ayun. So, 6. Never smoke in a home where oxygen is used. So, kung maninigarilyo tayo, siguraduhin natin walang oxygen na nandoon dahil maaari itong sumabog or mag-cause ng fire. Number 3. Electrical safety. Electrical problem is one of the causes of structures fire and fire deaths. Fire incidents due to electrical wiring are caused by faulty wiring and faulty equipment or appliances. Fire caused by electric can be prevented by the following appropriate actions. Isa sa mga sanhi ng sunog ay electrical problem sa ating mga outlet. Kung kaya dapat nating malaman or dapat nating i-check lagi ang ating mga appliances kung meron ba itong mga may sira ba ito or maaaring nag-spark siya or something like that. Kung kaya dapat alam natin ang mga appropriate things to do to prevent that. Number 2. Don't use an extension cord with the major appliances like televisions, air conditioner, and refrigerator. Plug it in a major power outlet. So, huwag nating isaksak ang ating mga appliances like yung mga malalaki like refrigerator, air conditioner, or refrigerator. Dapat isaksak natin ito sa ating major outlet at huwag sa extension cord. Number 3. In case of fuse blows or circuit drifts open, light became dim or outlets or switches became heated. Call a qualified electricians to inspect and fix the problem. So, dito sa Zamboanga, alam naman natin laging nagba-brown out. Kung kaya't yung mga ilaw natin ay napupundido. Kaya, ang pinakamainam na gawin ay tumawag tayo ng mga qualified na mga electrician at para malaman nila kung ano ang problema. At wag natin i-fix ito ng tayo lang dahil maaring wala kang sapat na kaalaman sa mga bagay na ito. Number 4. Before using a lamp bulb, check the box or label first. The wattage of the bulb should match the recommendation set by the lamp manufacturer. So, huwag natin agad-agad na gamitin ang ating lamp bulb or ang bagong biling lamp bulb. Kaya kailangan natin itong i-check muna bago ito gamitin. Dahil may ibang mga lamp bulb na madaling masira or may sira na. Kailangan natin mag-check lagi. Number 5. Power strips with circuit breakers can be useful tools to temporarily plug several items into an electrical outlet, but if used incorrectly, they can cause a fire. The use of power strip and multi-plug outlets increase the draw of electricity through your home wiring. Before creating additional electrical demand, ensure that your wiring is in good repair and capable of carrying the additional load. So the best thing to do dito is tumawag ng electrician at or certified na electrician upang sila na ang bahala. At wag na nating magbida-bida at or kalikutin yun kung wala naman tayong alam. Number 6. Make sure your home has ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCICs in the kitchen, bathroom, laundry, basement, and outer areas to reduce the risk of electrical shock. So, kailangan yung bahay natin ay may GFICs para mabawasan ang risk na magkakaroon tayo ng electrical shock. Number 7. Arc fault circuit interrupter or AFCICs should be installed in your home to protect electrical outlets and prevent fire due to arcing. So ang ating bahay ay kailangan may AFCICs upang maprotektahan ang ating mga electrical outlets dahil ang mga electrical outlet natin ay may tendency na magkakos ito ng fire. So, kailangan meron tayo nun. Number 8. Do not place extension cords under carpet or mattresses because it will heat and cause fire. So, yung mga extension cord natin, huwag natin ilapit sila or ilagay sila sa mga fabric na bagay like mga carpet dahil may tendency ito na mag-heat up and mag-start ng sunog. Number 8. Do regular checking of electrical cords and replace immediately if damaged. So, kailangan natin i-check yung mga electrical cords natin regularly. At tignan natin kung may mga damage na ito. At kung may damage man ay kailangan natin itong palitan na. At wag nang gamitin ulit. Number 4. Candle safety. During brownout or power outage, candles are the most popular source of light because it is always available even in sari-sari stores. So during brownout, ang kandila ang pinaka-common use na ginagamit para maging source of light at ito ay karaniwang available sa lahat ng tindahan. Kung kaya't isa ito sa mga common source of fire. So aalamin natin yan mamaya. The following are the safety tips on how to prevent candle fire from happening. Number 1. Use candle holders that are stable to prevent the candle from falling into the floor or near something that is flammable or easily burned. So, kapag sisindi tayo ng kandila ay dapat ilagay natin ito sa mga stable na lalagyan at hindi pwedeng mahulog ito sa mga bagay na highly flammable like mga fabric or cotton dahil mag-i-start ito ng apoy. 2. Keep candles at least 12 inches away from anything that it can burn. Kapag magsindi tayo ng kandila ay ilayo natin ito ng mahigit kumulang 12 inches sa mga bagay na maaaring sa mga bagay na highly flammable. Number 3. Blow out candles when you leave the room or go to bed. Avoid the use of candles in room where people may fall asleep. So, kapag tayo ay matutulog na, ay huwag natin isama yung kandila kung saan tayo natutulog. Kaya, kailangan natin itong iwan sa labas at malayo sa mga highly flammable na mga bagay para hindi ito mag-start ng apoy. Number 4. Never burn a candle if medical oxygen or any flammable substances is nearby. So, wag tayong magsisindi ng kandila malapit or sa isang room na may medical oxygen dahil maaari itong sumabog. Spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion happens when a material can produce or accumulate its own heat and can cause increase in temperature without drawing heat from its surroundings. If the material reaches its ignition temperature, it will start to burn without any source of fire, and that is called spontaneous combustion. Examples of materials that are prone to spontaneous combustion include oily rags, hay, and other agricultural products. In house fires, oily rags are the most common item ignited by spontaneous combustion, and the garage is the most common area of fire origin. Oily rags left clumped together can heat up and catch fire. To prevent these fires at home, store oily rags in non-combustible container with lid closed. Prior to disposal, soak rags in water, then spread them out in a safe outdoor area to dry. There are different types of fire and should be controlled differently when trying to extinguish. Some chemicals that can extinguish one type of fire can cause violent reaction when used with other types. One good example is when fire is caused by faulty electrical wiring, water and foam could create some explosion or can increase the intensity of fire. So, yung spontaneous combustion ay mga sunog na nagmula or hindi human-made. Um, ang best example nito ay isang forest and tinamaan yung isang puno ng kidlat. Yun ay isang example ng combustion uh, or spontaneous combustion. Okay. The table here shows the classification of fire and their respective sources and symbols. Let's start from the bottom. The first class of fire is K. The source of fire of K is cooking media or vegetable or animal oil and fats. So this is the symbol and the pictogram. Class D. These are the source of fire in Class D. Combustible metals and combustible metal alloys. So these are the symbol of symbol D or Class D and the pictogram. Class C. These are the sources of fire in Class C. Live electrical equipment or wiring. So these are the symbol and the pictogram. Classes of fire or Class B. Sources of fire of Class B is gasoline, oil, plant, and other flammable liquid. This is a symbol of Class B and the pictogram. Class A, which is the highest. So this is the sources of fire of Class A. Wood, paper, cloth, trash, and other ordinary materials. So this is the symbol of Class A in the pictogram. So from what I'm saying, before using a fire extinguisher, examine the label first to determine whether it can be used to the class of fire you are dealing with. So these are the types of fire extinguisher. Number 1. Water and foam, only used to put out Class A fires. Number 2. Carbon dioxide, can be used to put out Class B and C fires. Number 3. Dry chemical, can be used to put out Class A, B, and C fires. Number 4. Wet chemical, can be used to put out Class A and K fires. Number 5. Clean agent, also known as halogenated extinguisher, can be used to put out Class A, B, and C fires. Number 6. Dry powder, only used to put out Class D fires. Number 7. Water mist, can be used to put out Class A and C fire. So that are the different types of extinguisher or fire extinguisher and their corresponding um, classes to extinguish. So the table here shows the summary of class of fire that can be extinguished by a particular chemical extinguisher. So I already told you before. So this is the image. Fire safety signs. Fire safety signs are color coded for easier identification and determination, which is mandatory and which should be avoided. It is very important to be knowledgeable or to be familiar with the color and corresponding meaning of the picture presented. Fire exit signs are colored green and white as this color combination means safe condition. Normally, fire exit show or sign shows rapidly walking man and an arrow. However, some fire exit signs just show fire exit text in lowercase letters. Blue fire safety signs are used to indicate a mandatory action or a must-do action. This blue sign that you need to do the appropriate action for your safety. Blue fire safety signs are circular shape and feature a white graphic or a white text. Red fire safety signs are used to indicate prohibition or you must not go on that location because it might pose danger or harm. It also signifies the location of fire equipment and supplementary information. When it means prohibition or prohibition, it is circular with a red border, white background, and black image. Fire equipment signs are square with red background and white images and are used to tell you to find the location of firefighting equipment. So in a building, may makikita tayong mga colors and sometimes hindi natin alam kung ano yung colors na yun. At kailangan natin malaman kung ano yun. Dahil sa kung ang building na yun ay may sunog ay alam natin ang mga meaning ng mga sign na yun at alam natin kung ano ang dapat na gawin. So this is the table that shows the colors of the fire safety signs. So in the number 1 is the red and its geometric shape is red and it means that it is a firefighting equipment. Green, it means safe, and another red with this sign or geometric shape, it means prohibition or huwag tayong papasok doon. And the yellow is it and a triangle shape, it means warning. And last one is blue one, it means mandatory.
Ikaw na una, maganda na yun. Oh, maganda na yung ganun, Earl.
Simula po nung una, hindi na maintindihan ang naramdaman. Naging magkaibigan, ngunit di umabot na magkaibigan. Tanggap ko yun noon, kampante na gano'n na lang. Tapat na nakasama kita, kahit hanggang doon na lang.
Di na lang ako lalapit.
Di na lang titingin para hindi na rin mahulog pa sa iyong mga mata.
Siguro mahal na ako sa'yo.
Oo, di naman inaasahan, di naman sinasadya, pero alam ko rin naman, hanggang dito na lang. Hindi mo pinagdamdamin, isisigaw na lang sa hangin.
Mahal kita.
Mahal kita. Sinubukan ko lang napigilan ang nararamdaman kahit ang hirap. Lumayo at umiwas sa'yo. Ano ba naman isang ngiti, isang tingin, kahit boses mo na rin nakakatunaw.
Huwag na pagsingin, delikado na. Delikado na.
Hirapan, hindi na bakit lumasan tumingin? Kung kaya't ang ako'y nahulog na sa iyong mga mata. Siguro nga nakamahal na ako sa'yo. Oo, di naman inaasahan, di naman sinasadya, pero alam ko rin naman, hanggang dito na lang. Lilimutin ang damdamin, isisiglang na lang sa hangin. Mahal kita, mahal kita. Nakatingin mula sa malayo, tanggap ko na kita, sapat na nga ba to? Pero ikaw na ang lumapit, nasa akin ang tingin. Nilawakan ang aking kamay at sabay sabing
Ay, inom lang ako. Lang kasama yung ano. Samahan kita lang.
So that's it. I hope you learned something in our video. So thank you for watching.